This story begins with a couple named Mason and Amelia, who are sitting in their private jet and going to attend a lavish party. Soon, they arrive at the venue and start enjoying the party. After a while, they meet a man named Perez, who is the richest among everyone and is also hosting the party. In conversation, Mason tells him that he has a car collection and is very passionate about cars. Hearing this, Perez becomes happy, because he also loves collecting cars. After this, Perez takes Mason and Amelia to his private garage to show them his car collection. There, Perez shows them his favorite car, which is worth nearly $20 million. Seeing the car, Mason and Amelia want to sit inside it and feel it. Perez agrees to their request and allows them to sit in the car. As soon as they sit inside, Amelia gives a signal to a hacker named Link. On receiving the signal, Link turns off all the lights in the garage. Meanwhile, Mason's men attack Perez. They knock him to the ground, and taking advantage of the moment, Mason starts the car and drives away to escape. Here, it is revealed that Mason and Amelia are professional thieves, and their only purpose in attending the party was to steal this car. Afterward, they load the car into a large truck and begin fleeing the country. But before they can succeed, an FBI team starts chasing them. Seeing this, Mason wonders how the FBI got to know about their plan. Just then, Amelia points her gun at Mason, instantly clearing all his confusion. Here comes a twist in the story. It is revealed that Amelia is not a thief at all, but an FBI agent. She pretended to fall in love with Mason just to catch him red-handed. Hearing this, Mason's heart breaks, because he truly loves Amelia. Despite this, he tells his team to execute Plan B. Following his orders, they dump all their cars into the river. Because of Plan B, they fail to steal that car, and it ends up in the hands of the FBI. Although they narrowly escape being caught. Time passes, and 3 months later, we see Mason, who has now left his life of theft behind, and is living a normal life outside the city. One day, Mason's younger brother, Sean, comes to him and tells him that he is planning a bank robbery and wants Mason to join the plan. However, Mason refuses, saying that he is retired now and does not want to get involved in any new trouble. Sean tries hard to convince him, but when Mason does not agree, Sean leaves. Before leaving, he gives Mason a phone, so that if he changes his mind, he can join the plan. 3 days pass, but Mason's decision does not change. On the day of the robbery, Link calls Mason and asks why he is so late for the heist. Mason is shocked to hear this, because he had refused Sean's plan. In reality, Sean had told his team members that Mason was ready to join the plan. At first, Mason is very angry, but to manage the situation, he reluctantly joins Sean's plan. Meanwhile, we see Sean sitting in a coffee shop outside the bank, because the bank manager comes here every day for coffee. As soon as the manager arrives, Sean approaches him, shows a gun, and takes him hostage. He then begins leading the manager toward the bank. At that moment, Mason arrives and stops them from going inside. Mason tells Sean that this plan is not right and that they will all get killed. Sean responds that it is too late to stop now because their team has already entered the bank. The three of them go inside, and Mason notices that all his team members have disguised themselves and blended in with the regular customers. Meanwhile, Sean takes the manager to a corner and orders him to open a door. Instead of opening it, the manager triggers the bank security alarm. As soon as the alarm sounds, chaos erupts inside the bank, and the security guards start firing at the robbers. However, Mason's team quickly neutralizes the guards and takes all the customers inside the bank hostage. At this point, Mason asks Sean what his real target actually is. Sean explains that he is looking for a locker number 1140. Inside this locker is a hard drive containing millions of dollars in cryptocurrency. Hearing this, Mason takes the manager to the bank's vault and orders him to open the locker. But the problem here is, the one key to this locker is with the manager, and the other key is with the owner. The locker can only be opened when both keys are used together. Sean had no idea about the second key, and yet he brought his entire gang into the bank to rob it. When Mason realizes this, he becomes very angry at Sean. He then tells Link to hack the locker and bypass its security to open it. Link performs brilliantly, and within a few minutes, the locker is hacked and opened. But when they look inside, they find no hard drive. Seeing this, the manager laughs and tells Mason that this is just a decoy box. He doesn't even know where the real box is. Seeing the situation, Mason's anger flares, and he scolds Sean harshly for the poor planning. Meanwhile, we see the FBI team, which has arrived outside the bank with full force. The leader of this mission is none other than Mason's ex-girlfriend, Amelia. Amelia contacts Mason's team, where Link tries to confuse her with words. But Amelia is experienced and tells Link to immediately put her through to Mason. Link informs Mason that the FBI wants to speak with him. Mason tells Sean to keep an eye on the manager and quickly heads to Link's room. Hearing Amelia's voice on the phone, old memories resurface, but Mason quickly reminds himself that Amelia is now his enemy and has come to capture his team. Mason then begins negotiating with Amelia. He says that she must move her team at least 100 feet away from the bank, or he will start killing the hostages one by one. He also demands that she arrange pizza and beer for all of them and personally deliver the pizza boxes inside the bank. Amelia agrees to Mason's demands, but in return, she asks for the release of 2 people. Mason immediately agrees without any hesitation. Following this, Mason's team moves all the hostages to the upper hall and waits for Amelia. After a while, Amelia arrives with the food and drinks and enters the bank. There, she meets Mason, who is very happy to see her and starts speaking to her with affection. However, Amelia ignores his emotions and tells Mason to surrender. Mason flatly refuses and sends her outside the bank. He then serves food to everyone and, as per the deal, releases 2 people. But then something unexpected happens. The manager attacks Sean, grabs his gun, and escapes. Seeing this, Mason chases after him, and after a long pursuit, he finally catches the manager. Mason interrogates the manager and extracts all the information about the locker owner. The manager reveals that the locker belongs to Isabel, the wife of Abel Salazar, the country's most notorious gangster. He explains that Salazar is an extremely dangerous gangster, and he has the support of all the powerful politicians in the country. That hard drive may contain evidence of their corrupt activities, and if it gets out, the government could be in serious danger. Despite knowing all this, Mason decides to steal the hard drive so that he can blackmail the government and escape from the bank. Outside the bank, a car stops, and inside is none other than Salazar's lawyer. He orders Amelia that if her team doesn't capture the thieves within the next hour, the U.S. Army will attack the bank. Amelia is confused and doesn't understand who this man really is. She contacts her supervisor, who tells her that the man's name is Alex and that he is Salazar's lawyer. Her supervisor explains that Salazar has the support of all the powerful politicians in the country, so they cannot intervene directly. He instructs Amelia to try to get the thieves out of the bank as quickly as possible, because if the U.S. Army enters the bank, not only the thieves but many hostages will be killed. Meanwhile, Mason and his team start breaking through the walls of the locker room, hoping that the bank has hidden Isabel's vault in a secret room. But as soon as they break one wall, another wall appears in front of them. Meanwhile, the U.S. Army surrounds the bank from all sides and prepares to enter. Seeing this, Amelia calls Mason and tells him to surrender, warning that if the army enters, the thieves are surely doomed. Mason tells Amelia to leak the news to the media that the U.S. Army is about to attack the bank. He explains that if the media shows up outside the bank, the army will be unable to take action. Amelia follows his instructions and leaks the news. Soon, the media crowds outside the bank, and the story spreads across the country like wildfire. Seeing all this, the head of the FBI becomes very angry and removes Amelia from the case. Then he calls Mason and threatens him that if his team does not surrender within the next 10 minutes, the army will attack them. Inside the bank, Mason's team finds the room where Isabel's locker is kept. As soon as they find the locker, Mason tells Link to hack it and bypass its password to open it. Link warns that the locker's security is extremely strong and it will take at least 10 minutes to open it, while the army will enter the bank in the next 8 minutes. Seeing this, Mason comes up with a plan and starts releasing the hostages one by one, giving Link enough time to unlock the locker. Within a few minutes, all the hostages are freed, and after releasing the manager, Mason's team members begin surrendering one by one. Everyone exits the bank, but Mason and Link are still inside. Seeing this, the head of the FBI becomes furious and orders the army to enter the bank and shoot Mason on sight. The army enters and starts searching for Mason relentlessly. When they reach the room, they see Mason waiting for them with a bomb in his hands. Before anyone can react, an explosion occurs, killing Mason along with all the soldiers inside. Because of Sean's poor planning, Mason loses his life. A few months after this incident, Amelia resigns from the FBI because she doesn't want to work with corrupt people. After resigning, she goes on vacation to a private island, where Mason is already waiting for her. Here, it is revealed that Mason and Amelia were on the same team from the beginning. They had deliberately let Perez's car heist fail so that the FBI would trust Amelia. The story then flashes back to just before the explosion. When the army enters the bank, Mason makes a demand that he wants to meet Salazar's lawyer, Alex. Reluctantly, they have to accept Mason's demand because all the evidence is still in his possession. Shortly after, Alex comes to meet Mason, where Mason threatens him that if he doesn't transfer $500 million into his account, Mason will release all the evidence publicly. He also demands that Alex provide a new identity for him and his team so they can start a new life under this new name. Since Salazar is completely under Mason's control, Alex agrees to all his demands. A fake explosion is then staged in the bank to make everyone believe that Mason died in it. Meanwhile, Mason and Amelia leave their life of crime behind and start a new life with new identities. The story ends here.